Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Senator Folamu. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation from the County Assembly of Makueni, comprising members of the Committee on County Public Investment and Special Funds Account and its Secretariat. The delegation is undertaking a benchmarking visit in the Senate. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. The Honorable Brian Kello Nzoka, the chairperson. The Honorable Jonathan Muoki Moniki, vice chairperson. The Honorable Wakatete Kisungi Mulinge, a member. The Honorable Meshak Kalin Dambuki. The Honorable Jackson Ndolo Kimunyi. The Honorable Janet Mwikali Kitunga. The Honorable Magdalene Duku Mulwa. The Honorable Jacqueline Muthini Kamula. Mr. George Maseka Mutuku. Mr. Chris Mutava. Mr. Japheth Ndambuki. Mr. Benedict Mutua. And Mr. Stephen Nyamasio. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. Likewise, I have another communication to make. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation from the Bureau of the African Network Parliamentarians on Climate Change and its Secretariat. The delegation is undertaking a benchmarking visit in the Senate. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. The Honorable Carlo Emily, Member of Parliament, Cote d'Ivoire, and Chairman of ANPCC. I didn't want to pronounce the first name because I will never do justice. The Honorable Mapoko Nene, MP, Member of Parliament from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Vice Chairperson of ANPCC. The Honorable Jacqueline Amongini, MP, Member of Parliament from Uganda and Secretary General of ANPCC. The Honorable Clifford Andre, MP, Member of Parliament from Seychelles and Deputy Secretary General ANPCC. The Honorable Mayik Deng, MP, Member of Parliament, South Sudan, and a member of the Bureau. Honorable Selo Hakane, MP, Member of Parliament from the Republic of Lesotho, and a member of the Bureau. Honorable Adamu Saba, MP, Member of Parliament from Nigeria, and a member of the Bureau. Honorable Ngwala Antony, MP, Member of Parliament from Congo, and a member of the Bureau. Honorable Isamado Jaber, MP, Member of Parliament from the Republic of Chad, and a member of the Bureau. The Honorable Aissata Kamara, MP, Member of Parliament from the Republic of Guinea, and a member of the Bureau. Mr. Sylvester Kaonga, Parliamentary Staff, Parliament of Zambia. Mr. Emmanuel Sebastian, Sound Technician, Mr. Kenneth Kuria, sound technician, Ms. Caroline Oyugi, language interpreter, Mr. Vincent Nyatuka, language interpreter, Mr. Abraham Kamratatsi, staff of the African Group Negotiators Experts Support Group, into brackets, Agnes, Mr. Leon Mulama, staff of Agnes, Mr. Festus Langat, staff of Agnes, Mr. Shadrach Arum, staff of Agnes, and Ms. Christine Mora, staff of Agnes. Honorable Senators, the Agnes I'm talking about here is African Group of Negotiators Expert Support. So, honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation, and on behalf of the Senate, and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will allow the Minority Leader, Senator Kajwang, Senator Boni. I wish you in the chamber. I could have thrown you out, but still out of the chamber. So Senator Boni and Senator Tabitha, the four senators, to extend a word of welcome on behalf of the two delegations. And thereafter, the senator for Makueni will wrap it up. So it will be Senator Mazayo, followed by Senator Boni, followed by Senator Tabitha, then Senator Manzo, and lastly, the chair, Senator Methu, whose docket handles matters climate change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to make
order. Honorable Senators, can the Minority Leader be heard in silence, please?
Asante Bwana Speaker. Bwana Speaker, tuko na wageni kutoka nchi mbalimbali katika bara letu la Afrika. Kuna watu kutoka pande za nchi ambazo zinaongea Kiingereza na kuna wengine wanaongea Kifaransa na pengine Kiswahili kwa upande wa watu wa Congo Brazzaville. Bwana Speaker, kwa kujumlisha, nafikiria ingekuwa bora uniruhusu niongee kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Bwana Speaker, kwanza nataka kujiunga na wewe kwa kuwakaribisha hawa wageni wetu wale kwanza kutoka Makueni, wa ndugu yangu Maanzo, na vile vile wale kutoka katika bara la Afrika katika ile kamati yao ya tabia nchi. Bwana Speaker, tunaona ya kwamba Afrika sasa inakuwa kitu kimoja, na ni umuhimu kuona ya kwamba tunalinda mazingira yetu, na vile vile tunataka kuwaunga mkono kwa safari yao ya kuchukua kutoka nchi zile mbalimbali wanazotoka kutoka Afrika. Wamekuja hapa kujionea bunge letu la Senate linafanya kazi kinamna gani, na na matumaini ya kwamba wakati wakirudi nyumbani wataona bunge la Kenya la Senate linafanya kazi kinamna gani. Vile vile ndugu zetu kutoka Makueni, karibuni sana. Sisi tunawakaribisha hapa katika bunge la Senate. Muko na mbunge wenu ndugu yangu Daniel Maanzo. Hapa mlipiga ndipo, hamukukosea. Nataka kuambia ikiwa itawezekana tena basi mumregeshe huyu Daniel Maanzo. La mwisho Bwana Speaker, nataka kuambia hawa ndugu zetu wametoka katika bara zima la Afrika kule ni kwamba karibuni sana katika nyumba yetu hii ya Senate, na ninajua mkifika huko nyumbani mtaweza kuwaelekeza ama kuwajulisha wale ndugu zetu kazi ya Senate katika Kenya mmeiona ni namna gani. Na pia vile vile karibuni. Kenya ni nchi iko huru, mnaweza kuzunguka mpaka saa 10 saa 9, kuna hali kwingi kwa kwenda hapa Nairobi. Kwa hiyo Nairobi ni kwenu, na jisikieni kabisa kwamba mkiwa Kenya ni kama mmetoka kule nyumbani katika nchi tofauti tofauti za Afrika. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Boni. And honorable senators, keep it under 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I would like to request the delegation from Makueni to go and deliver our greetings to the governor of Makueni, who has been a colleague of ours in this house for a long time, and do remind him that the highest standard he left is still being maintained by Senator Maanzo. And Makueni is a unique place in Parliament, because that is the place where we had Senator Mutula Kilonzo Sr., one of the most polished leaders of the Republic of Kenya. Finally, Mr. Speaker, our visitors from Africa, you're most welcome. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to use this opportunity to request the parliamentarians of West Africa, the western part of Africa, you must come together to ensure that the fighting in Congo comes to an end. It is over 70 years, Mr. Speaker, when Patrice Lumumba died because of the rich gold and mineral deposits in DRC. It cannot continue forever. In fact, the member of parliament from DRC, when you go back, send my greetings to my cousins there. The people in Eastern Congo are the same ones who are in the western part of Kenya, and that's why there is respect for the Congo forest and there is respect for the Kakamega forest, the only existing tropical forest on the continent of Africa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I join you and the House to welcome the delegation from the Africa Parliamentarians Network on Climate Change, as well as the delegation from Makueni. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to take this opportunity to wish you a happy birthday. It is not... I know there are some old men who don't know their dates of birth, and so they like Senator Bass, so he's not very amused. Mr. Speaker, as we welcome the delegation, I also want to thank you for creating time. I know at 4 o'clock you'll be having a conversation with the honorable members of parliament. I want to thank you that in the last September, when Kenya hosted the African Climate Summit, this parliament brought together members of parliament from 28 African countries, and the meeting was held under your direction and patronage. Today, we have members of parliament from 12 African nations who have come here to strategize on how members of parliament can be players in the climate change conversation. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto, was hosting African heads of state in New York in his capacity as a chair of the Heads of State Climate Change Committee. And so Kenya has always provided leadership on climate change matters, and I know at the right time you'll allow me to make a substantive statement on the reason why the members of parliament are here. Mr. Speaker, I join you in welcoming them so that I do not waste a lot of time. And if you may have noticed that the member from Guinea drew the loudest applause, especially from Senator Madzayo. Senator Madzayo also reminds me that now that I have the floor, and we have 12 African countries in the Speaker's gallery, that it would be proper to ask for their support for a Raila Odinga chairmanship of the African Union. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and welcome, honorable members.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take the opportunity to welcome the delegation from Makueni County Assembly and also the members of parliament from various countries of Africa. And Mr. Speaker, I want to wish them well here in Kenya, welcome them and tell them we are doing very well when it comes to matters dealing with climate change. And I'm sure during your stay here, you are going to learn a lot more. I have been to quite a number of countries where they come from, like the Congo, where I usually represent this house in the prayer breakfast, and want to wish all African countries a good stay here in Kenya, and we hope to interact more so that we may share more in relation to climate change. And similar to the team from Makueni, that we want you to send you home with greetings to the people of Makueni, and I hope you have learned a lot from the Honorable Kajwang, whose committee is hosting you, and the other members of Parliament on how best to check the executive in Makueni. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also take the opportunity to welcome the Makueni, our own Makueni MCAs, and to congratulate them and to continue urging them to continue doing the good job that you're doing, to ensure that you play the mandate that you've been given by the people of Makueni, so that you don't give a hard job to the Makueni senator on the money that he pushes to ensure that it comes to Makueni. You ensure that it does the work, the governor does the work that is meant to do for the benefit of the Makueni people. And then I take also opportunity to welcome the African group of negotiators, of experts, support, and African Union Development Agency, and to welcome them to Kenya and to feel at home. And Africa is our business, and wherever we are, work hard to ensure that we make Africa better than how we found it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Meth.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to start by wishing you a happy birthday. I always don't remember mine, but mine is on a very special day. I was born on Valentine's of 1991. I want to welcome the members of County Assembly and staff from Makueni County Assembly who are here. I also want to very quickly also welcome the members of Parliament from the 12 nations that are the Speaker's gallery. And Honorable Speaker, allow me to reiterate the position that I've mentioned in the past and has been mentioned by the Chair of the caucus, Honorable Speaker, that parliaments are not are major players in the space of climate change, Honorable Speaker, because in terms of budgetary allocations, in terms of preparing our budgets, it is always a preserve of parliaments in almost all our democracies, Honorable Speaker. It is for this reason, Honorable Speaker, that we then must ensure that we learn from each other, get to do exchange program between countries, Honorable Speaker, the 12 countries that are here, the members of Parliament from Kenya, Honorable Speaker, so that we get to know what is in Malawi that we can borrow, what is in Congo that we can borrow, what is in the other country that we can borrow. Finally, Honorable Speaker, allow me to appreciate the African group of negotiators, expert support, Agnes, Honorable Speaker, for being in the forefront of ensuring that they build the capacity of members of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, so that even as we speak about the space that we are speaking about of climate change, Honorable Speaker, our members are well equipped with the information that they require, so that going forward, it is not a question of something that comes at the tail end of the conversations. It is something that be at the meat, at the center of all the conversations that we shall be having as a people, as a country, as a continent, Honorable Speaker. I thank you.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader. Senate Majority Leader. Yes, sir. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Thursday, the 26th of September, 2024. These are the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the following hospitals for the year ended 30th June 2023. Marsabit Level 5 Referral Hospital, County Government of Marsabit. Kalacha Level 4 Hospital.